by default, Strapi supports fetch and not GraphQL. So if we want to add GraphQL functionality to this, we need to install a little add-on package to this. So let's open up our terminal. You can optionally go here and click New Terminal, hit Control and C to close it up, and then we're going to say npm install I add Strapi -plugin GraphQL like that, and hit Enter. And then wait a little bit, and that's going to install it. And whether you're working with Fetch or GraphQL, what we need to do is enable who can access the data that we just created. So whether if it's a product, whatever if it's another type, there are specific like rules and roles of who can access the data. So let's run npm run develop again, now that we have this installed. So it's going to open up the same here on localhost 1337. So just let that load up a bit. It's a bit slow, I know. There we go. So let's hit remember me this time so we don't have to wait every time. Let's log in. Cool, so our data is still there, that's cool, but we cannot access this, whether if we do a localhost. I believe the default for fetch is like this, localhost 1337, and then you just say products like that. So that's the link where you fetch them, but it's not gonna work. So what we need to do is go over to settings here, and then we go over to roles. And here we can specify who has access to this information. Now we're not going to use authenticated here, we're just going to use public. So click on public, and as you can see here, we have permissions on who has access to what data. So in this case, we just care about the product that we just created. So we'll pretty much let everyone find a product and find one product and then hit save. All right. So no matter who it is, anyone can search these up, which is fine. We're not giving them the ability to delete them or to create them or update them or to mess with them in any sort of situation like that. Okay, so now that that's enabled, we can also check here on the plugins tab that GraphQL has been installed, which it has. And then I believe we have a wee playground here if we just do localhost 1337/GraphQL. And look at that, it takes us to this little playground here. And then we can experiment, and it's super simple. So a cool tip I'm gonna give you is to just write query, right? And then curly brackets, and then you can hit Control and spacebar, and it's gonna simply show you what data you have access to. So whether it's product or products, upload file, and some of the other default ones that there are in Strapi here, but we just care about these that we made. So GraphQL is quite simple. The advantage over Fetch is that you can literally just write a query like this and then pull out whatever information you want out of it. Rather than getting back all the data, you can pull out a specific, maybe just a specific one. I'm going to show you in just a bit, but it looks like a JavaScript object essentially, right? You just write query, curly brackets, and then the data you want. So let's say I want all the products, and then another curly brackets, and then you see what you have access to here. So in this case, it's in data, and then curly brackets. So if I want the ID of each product, I can just write ID and hit play. And look at that, we get back our data. Now let's say we want something else. And this is Strapi specific, like they hide it under data attributes. If you do a fetch API request, you'd get back your data like that, and then you'd have to do data.attributes.title to get it out. Okay, just as an example. So here, if we check it out, look at that. We have access to our title, we have access to our description, and all of these fun stuff. So let's get the title, and as you can see, I can just hit save, and that's it. So if I just want to get the title, I can do that. I don't need to get all the different data that Strapi has or that I made. So here, if I want to get the image as well or price, I just write price. Boom. I can get the description. Click, and that's our data right there. We can get the image, and I believe image again is gonna error us out because it's hidden again. So we need to do another curly brackets in here. and then it's hidden under data, attributes, and here you have like the width and everything like that. See? Or we can get something else like the URL for it. There we go. Okay. So essentially what I want to do now is replace this data here from our Strapi with Cloudinary so it's a bit better optimized. So that's what we're going to do. Now, if you want to get some images, I highly recommend just going to Pexels and search here like clothes or something, and just download a couple of these, whichever you find nice. Yeah, just download these, and then we're going to upload it to our Strapi. So let's see how we can configure this in the next episode of changing this to our Cloudinary.